Is your job safe? Every year, millions of graduates dream of a high-paid job in the rainbow world of tech. Has that dream turned into ashes? Why am I asking these questions tonight? Just have a look at what's happening around you. People are being fired left, right, and center. Let me just list out the biggest names in the world of high tech. What do they all have in common? They are firing people, not hiring them. Alphabet, Amazon, Twitter, Meta, Microsoft, Spotify, IBM, Intel, Qualcomm, Bolt, Uber, Vox Media, Salesforce, Stripe, DoorDash, Cisco, Coinbase, Vimeo, HP, Go Mechanic, Swiggy, Dealshare, Ola, Dunzo, Byju's, Unacademy, Vedantu, Front Row, Cash Free. Aren't these the same companies that rush to your college campus for placements? For 2 decades now, most of these companies have defined aspiration, ambition. Professionals want these logos on their CVs. It does not matter if you are an engineer, a human resource professional, or a consultant, or even a spin master. They want to work for the Metas and the Amazons of the world. Working in Google means you have arrived. But today, the same Google is firing its employees. And how? At least 12,000 people have already lost their jobs or are set to be sacked. The companies that were once the top hirers and the biggest paymasters have lost the bandwidth to retain employees, let alone hire new people and freshers. What does this mean for you and me? If you are graduating from an engineering college this year, or if you are completing your MBA this fall, or you are in your first job and you are building your resume in order to get into these tech companies, or could be another case, these mass layoffs mean that even if you get a job, you won't get security. From where I'm sitting, there is a question looming. Have the graduates of the next 10 years missed the bus? You've lost out on tech dividend, the dream of the 21st century, missed the opportunity to ride the tide of the big tech revolution. It's bad news, I agree. Worse still, the companies are merciless when they throw you under the bus. Meet Nicolas Dufau. He was working with Google until last week when he got a notification saying that he was logged out of his corporate accounts. Nicholas was laid off through an auto-generated mail. It was delivered at 2 a.m. in the morning, and at that time, Nicholas was feeding his baby. The new dad writes, "Every layoff hurts. The timing of this experience, however, not only made me feel acutely expendable, it made me feel naive." This is Tommy York. He is a software engineer. He started working with Google in December 2021. 2 months after Tommy joined Google, his mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. It was stage 4. Soon, Tommy's mother began her chemo. You can understand how challenging it was for Tommy. You see, he had to balance a new job while also being there for his mother during this ordeal. Soon, Tommy's mother's health worsened. In December 2022, she passed away. Tommy's world came crumbling down. He went on a bereavement leave, and when he resumed work at Google in January, he was told he is fired. Just imagine that. They fired a deeply grieving employee. Would you call these companies heartless, or would that be an understatement? The same employer who onboarded you, promising a shining future, the same employer who asked you for 100% efforts and you gave that, who sent you on workshops so that he could extract the most from your skills, who knew how to exploit you fully, has now suddenly shut the door on your face, leaving you broke and heartbroken. Your access card does not work anymore. You have been logged out of your official email without any explanation, without an apology. you are left with just an automated email. And why is that? Because when the going gets tough, these tech companies pack up and get going. At the very first sign of economic strain, these tech companies have decided to put profit over people. Young, expecting mothers have been laid off. So have been those on disability leave. Where is the corporate social responsibility? Dear tech companies, don't show me papers on what you have done for an XYZ NGO or how many children you've sent to school. Tell me what you have done to ensure that your own employees don't face the cruel brunt of this economic downturn that they have had no control over, by the way. Some of these employees have risked their lives to come to work for you when the pandemic was at its peak. And why is that? Just so that your company could continue churning cash. These employees have picked up work calls while on sick leaves and family holidays. Why? So that your CEOs could meet their targets and earn the extra billions. And now, after just a quarter or two of slow growth, you decide to sack these employees? How does that even work? I'll tell you what. Why not sack the top honchos on incredible salaries? Mark Zuckerberg's and Jeff Bezos and Satya Nadella's of the world, after all, they are the ones making decisions, calling the shots, aren't they? It is they who could not protect the companies from the risks inherent in any business cycle. It's they who have failed to recession-proof the company. It is they who did not have a plan to keep the ship sailing during an economic storm. Why punish those who only took orders? And what about you, the young professional watching us on a smart screen, hoping to stay on top of global news, wishing you can use some of these arguments in your next job interview? What about you? What should you do? Should you still dream of a stint in one of these companies? Currently, they cannot afford to hire you. But when the brighter days come, I hope you remember these stories. I hope you remember the tech mantra of putting profit over people. And I hope you make a sound judgment. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.